Hello, everybody, all over the world. Hello, I'm HiGPS, and today's episode 1118. What makes a good map? You've had the discussions, you've seen the people, you've seen the chat, you've seen the discussions. People going, oh, that map sucks, it's so bad. And others go, no, it's actually really good. And like, no, it's bad. So we're just going to go in and see what makes a good map today. So it's absolutely gonna feature absolutely doodly. I'm gonna have some more Sprite because we're a little behind schedule today, and that's because there was a fire in my room. Not my room, but my apartment complex. So I had to evacuate and stuff. But things are fine now. Someone's kitchen just burnt down, but I am fine. As we move on. So it's gonna feature a lot of maps today. Well, a few. I'm gonna go over some basic concepts, but first I just want to take you back in time. So this is 1999, I think, is when Team Fortress Classic came out, and then some jerk is gonna look out and says it was actually 2000 or 1998 or something, but I think it was around 99. This mod came out, and okay, here we go. Here it is. Do you recognize this map? Whoa. If you do not, this is the Badlands map actually for Team Fortress Classic. Let's see. It was actually originally a capture the flag map, and this is how it started. Don't really remember where. Wait, I think the spawns were over here. Yeah, here's the resupply. Here's the spawn room. No, this is where you capture. Shit. Okay. Where do we start? Let's find out. How do I change team? Mother. Okay. I'm prepared. There we go. Blue. Sniper. There we go. Where's the start point? Okay. Flag. Balance. Sniper tower. Cool. Let's go to the sniper tower. Okay, so, let's see, where to go, spectate, there we go. So you can see there's some elements of the same. This is known as Valley. The sniper decks have been removed. We're going to be seeing that later. So let's just go through the map, how it originally stands and how it evolved and stuff like that. We're also going to go over another map in Team Fortress Classic before we move on. So yeah, this is somewhere you can go. This is the resupply door where you can get resupplies. And the capture point is actually inside your spawn, I think. Because balance, you know. And oh, here's the shutter door, and here's the platform. There is no spire here, as you may notice. And there's like this valley that goes all the way through, and there's a little tunnel down there. Takes you to elsewhere, and this is the main path. Let me see if you have some resemblance here. You know, you go over here, and oh, the middle point used to be here. This backpack is where the ammo was. I was just gonna go over, and here's the enemy base. Cool, it's mirrored. It's pretty damn big. I mean, look at this. There's like this tiny little ledge you can go on the sides and stuff like that. Cool. That's how the originally Badlands looked. And we're going to be looking at Badlands today. So we're going to look at other maps too, which is Dust Bowl. So let's look at how Dust Bowl first looked. Yeah, in low res. Cool. So this is the first point. This was also a capture the flag kind of thing. Everything in Team Fortress Classic work. Capturing the flag, however, you were carrying the flag to the point this time. Blue team were attacking, red team defending. So we had a gate here and a gate there. You had a total of 2 exits. This is the point you were supposed to carry. And then you have to go up these stairs and go out. And all the way over here, you can see the design is pretty much the same. Here is the little house. This is where the control point is on the new one. And you're asking like, hey, where's the corridor? Well, it's actually inside here because it blew up after a certain... If you didn't cap the point over a certain amount of time, this point opened. So then you have a couple of chokes here. You move up. It looks pretty much the same. Only that you don't have this door, but it opens here and you have to jump over. And the design is pretty much the same, as you can see. It's carried over pretty well. No axes. And here's the second point. You know, you have these 2. This is pretty much unchanged as well. You cannot jump up there, although you can in the new one. And there's no capture point here. You just keep moving through here, and you see things are pretty similar. It brings it pretty the same. I think there was a... Yeah, there's a secret door here a demo man could blow up. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, this is a door a demo man could blow up to get a secret path here. So you see, it's pretty much the same. All the way over here. And the gates are open. And this is where you capture. It's pretty similar. You can see the resemblance. Of course, this was the previous version of Team Fortress 2, Team Fortress Classic. That was a really spam fest. And oh, there's a 1 choke here, door to resupply, the bridge. Yeah, looking pretty similar. There's a drop down here to go below. And right now, it looks pretty much the same. Okay, So that were those two maps. I just wanted to showcase those real quick before we jump into Team Fortress 2 and talk about what makes a map good. And if a map doesn't have any of what I mentioned, it's a bad map by default. Because here it is on my show, it's my opinion, so my opinion is always right. And if your opinion differs from mine, then you are wrong in my domain. Well, okay. I thought the game was gonna crash. So, we looked at Badlands first. We'll look at Badlands in a more in-depth way. Not like, yeah, this is a joke, and this is where we push, and this is where medics hold last in sixes. When you have a demo man, you have sticky traps on the shutter. And then you just listen for the shutter door to open, and then you explode it. No. It's going to be situated that every class has something to do. That's what we're going to do. So we are loading in. Of course, it is black as the night. But GPS said, let there be visual. And then there was visual. Cool. So this is Badlands that we watched. This is the version that is in Team Fortress 2. If you haven't played this map, shame on you, because it's the best map ever, in my opinion. So that means you are wrong if you think otherwise. This map just has everything, something for every class. It doesn't favor any maps, any classes in general. As we will see, that Dust Bowl heavily favors the defending demo man more than anything. But here it doesn't really do that. As I load up the stream chat, so I'm able to see what you guys are doing. So here is the good new Badlands, of course. So the first thing I want to note is that it has something for everything. All right, so we have a lot of classes. Scout, soldier, spy. No, that's not spy. That's a spy. You almost tricked me there, Pyro. So we got 9 classes here, of course, with no audio. Let's see. There we have audio. Okay, so it's important that all classes have something to do. So let's go with the Scout. What does the Scout like? Well, the Scout is the fastest class, and he can double jump. Which means stuff like this is good for the Scout. He can jump from here to here easily. He can easily maneuver down. He can go in here, and he can go up here pretty fast. Run around. There's some space, and there's tight corridors, so he can easily maneuver around, and he can be like really fancy and stuff like that. So... and also when he is like attacking the point, he has 2 times capture, and the capture is really fast on this last point here. If you're attacking, if you're on the red team and you stand on this, it goes really, really fast. So it's okay for Scout. It's not bad. It's not like particularly designed for Scout either. It's designed for everything. So let's go to the Soldier. Well, what have we learned from previous Soldier episodes? Well, soldiers are good at shooting down, is essentially the whole idea with Soldier. I'm simplifying because you can. So yeah, you can stand here and shoot down. Cool. You know, that's pretty much it. You stand in here and you shoot on players that come down here. You can also shoot over here. Use these walls to take cover. Same goes for Demo Man. You can also do that. So how does this go for Demo Man? Well, pretty much the same as a Soldier. He's good at shooting down, but Demo Men are also good at shooting up. So if you run a Demo Man through here, he can actually shoot up at the Soldier that is shooting down. So that is good for the Demo Man. He can also put, sticky traps, which are bombs and sticky bombs also on the side here, and kill anyone that comes through. So this is good for Demo Man too. Usually, the only place where a Demo Man is bad is on a flat, wide open surface, like on a custom map such as CP Orange, which is a terrible map. I'm not even gonna cover that one because I don't have it downloaded. So yeah, that is the demo. What about Pyro? Well, Pyros are good in some areas. Not good in very open areas, but they're good with Compression Blast. Oh, what's this, a choke? Yes, you can push players back, and also over here is a very good example of this. You have stairs that takes you to high ground, takes you to advantage, and the Pyro can just stand here, and if a heavy decides to come, or any other class, this Pyro, which is imaginary here, is going to be able to stop anyone coming here as long as he has not enough ammo for Compression Blast. So the Pyro can pretty much shut down anything that goes like this because it's formed like a U, and the Pyro can just be like, no, you're not getting through. You're not getting through. But you can't really do that here because if you strafe, you can take splash damage. Here, you just go up the stairs and you take none, so it's fine. So yeah, it's fine for the Pyro, burning people as well. How about a Heavy? Well, a Heavy's good at shooting stuff, so I guess high ground, same as Soldier, and can stand here and shoot here, and pretty hard to kill, and he can do a lot of damage. Cool. Engineer, building sentries on high ground, or like in the corner if you're really sneaky, if you wanted to like shoot the point, because keep in mind, if you do put the sentry, let's say here, it won't shoot a scout that's like hiding here because it's behind the glass. So yeah, it's fine for Engineer too. What about Sniper? Well, you have like this long area here. And if you watch the sniper angles episode, you see like there's this tiny little box. And for Spy, what is Spy like? Well, he likes places where he can undisguise and decloak. I meant to say decloak first, undisguise and redisguise. Stuff like that. So you can disguise here and uncloak and decloak and uncloak and all the cloaks. It's fine for Spy too. Okay, cool. Moving on. Boom, 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 boom. And the reason I didn't talk about Medic is that Medic just follows the classes. Doesn't really matter for him what the terrain is for Medic. Ah, the Spire. Well, start Scout. Well, in Scout you can easily jump on. Problems. Soldier. High ground. Shooting down. Good. Can also jump on, so it's good for Soldier. Demo Man. Pretty much same as Soldier. Pyro. A bit worse, but hey, if you have a Pyro on the point, you can push people off the point very, very easily. So it's not good for Pyro, but being on the point is very good for Pyro in general. Heavy. Pretty good because you can like stand here and shoot. You can stand in the open and shoot. As for Scout, you can also run on below here. This is where Spies like decloak and stuff like that. Sniper can stand in the back, shoot. Stand in the back, shoot. This is pretty open, long areas. Here you have like this little square once again that you can use and stuff like that. And let's see, what class am I getting? Engineer. Yeah, not the best for Engineer, but usually the second point is just like transition. So, but you know, you can put a sentry here and it can be effective. You can put a sentry on top of here, which is very popular. Snipers can also hang around here. Stuff like that. Good. Okay, cool. So it has a little bit for everything here as well. No class is very like bad. Except Pyros maybe on this open ledge. But hey, you can choose not to as a Pyro. You can stay in this area here where it is closer to the walls and harder for enemies to escape. And you can go the other way and go inside where Pyros are good. This is like Pyro domain right here. Pyros are very good in this kind of area. Closed off. And then you have the middle point. Let's see. Scouts can run amok underneath, over. They can jump everywhere. Soldiers can rocket jump on these crates or stand on these pillars. Get around pretty easily. Demo Man likes to shoot stickies and put traps up here, so that's good. Pyros can blast people off the point and down the valley and burn people if they go inside. Engineers can put up mini sentries here, which are annoying, or a level 3, that's even more annoying. And this like ammo here so he can replenish his metal slightly. As for Sniper, it's flat, which is good. Not a lot of obstacles. Sniper can do that. Spy. It's like here's a spot you can uncloak. Here, below there, around. Yeah, it's pretty much a lot of places. A lot of them like in the bush maybe, if you're that kind of guy who likes doing stuff in the bush. And yeah, this middle point has something for everybody as well. Let's see. Yeah, the heavy, you know, very easy for heavy to just stand here and shoot, or stand on top of here, shoot. You will shoot everything. You can also take cover. So this map has a little bit of everything, which is good. You can like see like, well, as a scout I can do this, and as a pyro I can do that. You know, it offers opportunities, because if you're a pyro and you're like, oh shit, I know if I stand here I am not going to be very successful, but if I run into this shit house, which is what it's called, I can deny anyone that comes up this hill for as long as I have ammo. You see, just slightly repositioning yourself, giving yourself the advantage and stuff like that is important when positioning. So, that every class has something they can do doesn't necessarily make the map good. You need other things as well, and that is ways to attack and defend that is fair. Of course, this is a 5 CP map, which is going to be attack and defense back and forth depending on who is most aggressive and who's pushing and who's defending. You know, if you come onto the middle point here and every one of your players die on the first fight, it's going to be natural that you will be defending this point while the others are going to attack. Okay, so let's go to the first point again, the very first point in the blue base. So now we're going to get into chokes and stuff like that. So what I wanted to mention is when you attack, spending more time going a certain route should give you more advantage than if you take the short route. That kind of makes sense. If you put more effort into your positioning, you should have an advantage. You should have more advantage because you put the time into doing that instead of just going straight for it, you know? So let's see if this reflects in this map. Okay, so we are defending. So let's see what the attackers are going to do. Our imaginary attackers. This is Imaginary Fortress 2. Okay, so what I think a map is good is when you have 3 or more entrances you can go through. 3 or more. If you have more than 6, it's kind of too many, because that will make it a lot harder to defend. If the enemies come through 1 choke, it's super easy to defend. If it's 2 chokes, 2 different ways they can come, it's still a bit easy to defend, but not as easy if it was just for 1. If it's 3, it's a lot harder, because then you can get flanked from one of them. You can get surprise attacks. And if it's 4, like, the more pathways you add, it's going to be harder to defend, because there's just more places people can come from naturally. So here on this, let's just count the entrances you have. You have 1 here, which is the hardest to get through because you have to jump through. Not every class can go in here as well, and that's important to note. Having an entrance that only certain classes can use does not allow all classes. It doesn't count as like a push point. Because here, I think only the demo, soldier, and the scout. Maybe a super baller pyro can get in here. But that's pretty much it. It's not everybody. It's an exit, but it's not an entrance. And we're talking about entrances here. So, okay, that one doesn't count. So everybody can go through this door. Everybody can jump from here to here. And everybody can go through this door. Huh, 3. Okay, cool. So if we go further ahead, that is the entrance to this building. So let's take a look at the last point. How many entrances do you have? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is a joint one. This is a fork. Literally a fork with 3. So that's 4 places you can push in, which is good. Which is good. So let's see if adding the harder route is better. So let's see. Not all classes can get through here, but if you're a scout and you're coming, let's see. Is this the shortest route you can take? Let's see. Just zoom out. You run like this. Let's say you come here and you're like, the shortest amount of time, shortest air distance. You just go straight down here, and then you go, yeah, and then you're at this door, and then you run up like this, and you go whoop, and then you hop in here. And this is pretty fast. I mean, you skip all this lobby area, and you don't have to go up those stairs or jump around or do anything funky. So yeah, this pretty much brings you as close as you can get with some effort on your class. And you're allowed to get through here. And this is important. When it comes to entrances, is do you have an advantage? Well, I certainly don't have a disadvantage. I mean, I have an advantage over those who are defending who's on the low ground, of course, just because I'm higher. But I'm also on the equal ground as these people here. So on this point, you don't have an advantage pushing in. You have equality, just in terms of positioning, because you will be on the high ground, they're on the high ground. If you come through here and the enemy is up top, you have a disadvantage. So taking this route is slightly longer, so it gives you an advantage as opposed to going through here. So this is pretty fast. If you go through the top, you stay up top and you go down. And here is the easiest way to get in. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna go here. Yeah, there's the point, easy. And with the least amount of efforts, it's easier to get shot down here because it's a longer hallway. It's easier to defend slightly. But you also see these doors are smaller, which means explosives are better and flames and stuff like that. So you see the least amount of effort brings you through this door, which makes you the easiest to find. Now you can go on the side here, which is also pretty short. And you're like, hey, wait a minute. That is about as long as from here to here. So I guess that way is better? Well, actually not, because when you come out here, you are absolutely on your worst disadvantage. Why? Well, because, okay, if I'm a scout and I run in, what do I see? Well, I see what's right in front of me and maybe if someone is standing there. I see nothing. And I'm on the lower ground as well. And the door is really, really tiny. So if there's explosives here, it's really easy for soldiers to shoot you, and demomen as well. And if you cluster a lot of people here, one soldier can kill every one of you if you're in, clustered together. So you come in, you take a short path, but you're like at your worst here. I mean, it's good for flank, but if everybody is staying up top and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go flank you and gonna cap the point, you're gonna be at a disadvantage. So we're seeing that taking the longer route gives you more of an advantage when you're pushing in, as opposed to not taking the easy route. I mean, it takes slightly longer to run this. It doesn't take slightly longer to run this way, but you're at a disadvantage than if you were to spend some more time and go up here and get the upper advantage. So that's the last point for pushing and defending. Spend more time, get more advantage in your positioning. Good. Okay. So that is fair. I'd say that is good. First of all, it's something that every class can do something there. On the point, there's like no class that's like, what do I do? I don't know how. There's always something to do. Always. So yes, here we have, oops. Here we have the second point. Okay. How many, this is more of a transition point, but let's see, how many areas can they attack from? Well, there's 1, 2, and 3. So there's 3 chokes. They can come from this way, which is good. That's a good number. 3. Let's see. Does this give you any advantage? Well, if they have a sniper, they will see you coming, but you're slightly on the high ground. If they're defending, you're shooting down. So that means, hey, if you go this way, which is the shortest, it gives you an advantage, but you're pretty far away. Like, it takes a while for you to get there. But position-wise, you're pretty good. It's very safe. Or you can go through the house, which means they can't see you, and you will get slightly closer without them seeing you. So you can go here and you can jump up and stand on the point. Or you can go through this way, which is pretty much the shortest route if you just go, I think, air distance, isn't it? Or maybe it's the same. The same. Of course, then you come on the lower ground here. If the enemies are up top, you're at a disadvantage as opposed to if you were there. To see, it all makes sense. You know, it kind of makes sense. So let's go on the middle point. How many entrances from one side? Well, 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5 if you count this one. 6. Okay, so the first middle point is not very easy to defend, but it has 6 and it's fine because that's where they meet. Where a map really falls flat on its ass is on the later points when it's like hardcore defend, or because some points are like really easy to get back and forth, but some points are like nearly impossible to get. So that was Badlands. So let's look at another map very quickly. Granary. CP Granary, because this is not Team Fortress Classic. There you go. So this is why I think Badlands is like one of the best maps, because it has something for everything, and the chokes make sense in terms of positioning, the amount of distance you have to go, and the advantages, disadvantages you go by taking those areas. Of course, there's no guarantee that, like, just because you take the longer route, you're going to be successful. I mean, you're going to spend longer time, and we all know the more time you spend, the more you increase the chance of something going wrong. People in chat calling it Stalemate Granary. Yeah, that is because people play this map wrong. It's like, we're playing hide and seek, and both of us are going to hide. Yeah, nobody's going to win that game. Nobody's going to lose either. So let's look here. Let's just... Let's see. This area is pretty good for sniper, heavy, sentry, pretty much. Not so much demo man, maybe a little bit because you can shoot up here. But I'm not gonna focus on like, can every class do something here? You know, that is every class can do something here, but like it favors sentry, sniper, and heavy for the most part, just because they can stand at the back and just be a shoot stuff. But what I want to count is entrances, push points. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Aha! 4 points of entrance. Let's see. Of course, when you come here, you're at a high ground advantage. You can then jump onto these, and you will be at a high ground advantage, which means you're shooting down, which means the ones below you just have to take whatever pounding you so desire to push out of your weapons or other things. But what do you have to do in order to get up here, as every single class that can't jump very far? Well, you have to spend a lot of time repositioning, running up here, going through this really narrow hallway, which is easily defended by, you know, sticky traps and soldiers and pyros in general. But once you get here, you're at a good advantage. However, the chokes are pretty narrow and pretty thin, so, I mean, you're above your target, so you get to see what's up. I mean, you see pretty clearly everything, as opposed to if you come out here, you won't see as much than if you're here. Do you understand? You will see a lot more. You will get more information. Like, if you peek out this door, you're like, oh, There's probably someone here, but if you peek too much, you're gonna die. But here, you can be like, what's up? Oh, I just gonna go back and hide. Can't shoot me. Okay. So there's 4 entrances. Good. Some of them takes a longer, but gives you more advantage, so it adds up. It's fine. It's balanced. Let's see, onto this point. How many angles can you come from? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the attacking side. Alright, that's good. That's good. Pretty much same thing applies here, because you come behind them up top, which is a very good strategical positioning indeed. But hey, you have to walk a lot of way to get there, and you have to count on the enemies not covering this door. So let's go to the middle point. And also, this door didn't usually used to be here, but they added this to add 3, because it used to be just two chokes, and it is very choky around this end. And still, there's players who like get stuck here and on the middle point, stalematiness. So let's see, how many parts can you attack? Points of pressure can you apply from here on the sides? Well, 1, 2, 3, fine. And the second one takes the longest to get to. Most quarrel takes the most skill to maintain, but hey, you can get on the containers, which means you're on the high ground and you're shooting down. Good, good, excellent. All right, cool. So now let's look at a map that isn't really played that much anymore, but I really like it. And let's just see and count the choke points and the amount of entrances. I really like this map, and I'm a sniper. I haven't really played much other thing than sniper, so it's great for sniping, but I think every class has something to do on this map. We're not going to go into that. We're just going to go into like looking at numbers of entrances as a way to push the point, and does the advantage point takes longer to get there. So follower is someone called a mix between granary and badlands, which we just saw. This is very reminiscent of the granary defense. It's slightly different. Has some more peaks. It's a more engineer friendly, because you can have a sentry here that's very well protected and protects the point. Then you kind of have, like, everybody, like everything else has to die first, and then you can kill the sentries. You're kind of like the last man standing. Yes. So let's count the. Okay, this is the last point. How many areas can you come from? Well, let's see. If it's more than 3, it's fine. If it's more than 6, there's a bit too many. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. So these give you advantage because you're higher up. You're on high ground. Does it take longer to go this way? Yes, it does, because you have to spend more time going upstairs, or yeah, going up here and just to get to high ground. So yeah, that's fine. That's balanced in a way. It's fine. Okay, let's look at this point. How many areas of attack do you have? Well, 1, 2. Oh, just 2. Well, that's pretty bad. No, because you have 3. It's that door right here. Because when you go over here, you have this door, this shutter. And here you go. And that's the last way you go up here and through here. And here you are, up top. High ground advantage. Takes a lot longer than if you were just to go as fast as possible on the point. So let's see if that applies to the middle point here, which is very interesting. It's like Badlands and some stuff on the side. Okay. So how many entrances? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, kind of just 4 in a way, which allows for a lot more pressure being put on. You can go different ways. However, the only way you will really be at a disadvantage is if you go here, because you will be on the low ground and you won't really see anything before you get up top on this level. But this is the only place that will get you to a slight disadvantage, and it's also the shortest route. But this is the middle point, and you have a lot of different ways to go. So if you want to spend a bit more time running other ways and gaining high ground, or you won't get a high ground, but you will get equal ground to the others who are also doing the same thing, it's fine. Because it's mirrored, it's the same on both sides. So you can't say, you know, hey, we have a low ground here, that's unfair. Well, no, it's not, because you have one too, so it's fine. Okay, so that is follower. So now let's take a look at a map that is being played in UGC, and it's CP Croissant RC6, I think, or something. I'm not sure if I even have the right version, but we're just gonna look at this map in particular and just see, is it really good? Does it uphold the things? Is it not too? Is it too friendly for something and too unfriendly for other things? So let's see here. Let's go into one of the bases. Yeah, the final point. Okay, let's count choke points. Well, first of all, the point is elevated, so that means if you're just standing on the point, I forgot to mention this, but if you're standing on the point, you will sometimes have an advantage and sometimes not. And let's say on Badlands, on the last point there, you won't have an advantage standing on the last point. But let's say you're standing on the spire, you know, the tower. This is a spire of Sprite, and you're a soldier and you're standing on top of the Sprite. You're at the highest point of high ground. Nothing is higher than the spire on Badlands, which is important to note because, you know, high ground is important. Here, the point is on a high ground, so if you're standing, you have high ground advantage over those who come below you, but not the ones that come above you, which is just one choke. Okay, so already we're seeing this is very differently designed than other maps. First of all, what point does this serve? This big area here, like, wait, okay. I can understand on, I guess you want soldiers to jump up or something. There we go. So let's count the entrances to the last point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So this one you come to on the low ground here, which is like you can't get lower than this, and you don't, when you come out this door, you don't really see anything. You have no idea what's there. I mean, there's glass here, but the glass isn't so that you can see what's on the inside, so this glass really serves no purpose. And could have just been a wall, and it would have been the same thing. You will be able to see if there's some action going on, but you know that anyway, because you have ears. So, okay, how long does it take to get there this way? Is this the shortest route? No, it's actually one of the longer routes, actually, because you have to go off the, like in ear distance is probably the same, but like in efficient distance, you have to go back, go down, go in, and then run here, or you can run down here and spend more time going down this area than you would just going straight ahead. And then you go here and you go through this little choke. It doesn't give you an advantage, and it's not really worth the hassle, I think. I mean, it might be short, but it's definitely not worth it. It doesn't give you an advantage. It's very hard because you have to shoot up, and shooting up is always harder than shooting down. Okay, so not the shortest of routes. Let's see here. The one that gives you the high ground advantage is actually shorter than the one that goes in front of their spawn, because this is also an opening in a way. So, you know, I mean, you will never take this area. Why would you spend more time going this way and gain less of a height advantage when you can just go shorter? Which in general, it just leaves effectively at 3 choke points. I mean, will you ever use this? Will you ever push through here, through the low ground? There's also this area that... Like, what purpose does this serve, really? I mean, yeah, so you can sneak through here and go up here out unseen, yeah. And if you just stay here, you'll be unseen, and you can run up here and be seen, and you spend a lot shorter time going there. Okay. I kind of felt impartial about this map until I started analyzing it now, and then I realized, oh man, there's a lot of flaws here. Like, okay, explain to me the thought process of this entrance. Okay, you can attack, you can't see the point. The enemy spawn is right on your left, and what are you supposed to do? It's like, yeah, just hang on. I'll just go up these stairs and yeah, shoot you while you see me. Because if you stand here, you will see him coming. And if you come running here, you will not see him because your face is actually too low. You have to crouch in order to see him, but he can just stand up here and he can see your shoes. Not very fair, in my opinion. And also, this area is kind of dumb. It should be elevated a lot higher. That would make sense because it takes longer to get here, but no. So here already we see some flaws because this is a custom map. You know, somebody made this, and you can see, like, if we look at Badlands and compare it to Badlands, you see like it's designed very differently. So okay, let's take a look at the second point. When you're defending, how many entrances are there? Well, there is 1, 2, kind of 3, and you actually spend more time running down here to the low ground, which does not give you an advantage. And you could run up here and still be on the low ground, and run up here and maybe for flanking. It's made for flanking purposes, but if one guy is standing here just looking down the stairs, it's completely not worth it because you spend a lot longer time just running down these stairs than you would here, because simply going this way, or instead of going down here, takes longer. And here you're on equal ground. You're not at a disadvantage, and you will see everything, and there's also this shutter door, which can open and close, which makes it easier for you to, you know, see and attack stuff. I mean, you're not at a disadvantage here. It's kind of the shorter route, kind of, and you're on the low ground, but this is more like sniper stuff area. Like, you snipe out here and maybe mini sentries and some heavy action, but you're on the low ground, and you have to walk up here, but then you get equal ground once again. So it's a bit weird. I mean, okay, so you have like this elevated area, so you can shoot down on the people that's capping the point. Okay, usually the point should be on the highest area, so, you know, it's not really fair. Okay. So already you're seeing some weird design choices where the longest path gives you the least advantages, while the shortest path gives the most. And it should be the other way around. Okay, so let's take a look at the middle point then, okay? In previous maps, we've seen up to 4 to 6 entrances, I think. Which is good. Like, you shouldn't just have 3. 3 is a bad number when it comes to attacking the middle point, because then, like, the middle point should be very easy to take, is the point. You don't have to be very coordinated to take the middle point, because the middle point is kind of like the whole something that decides something in the something. You know what I mean. But you have 2. Okay, 1, 2. Maybe 3, but it's forked with this one. Okay. And already this point is kind of weird, because it's above the ground. Kind of like Yukon. And there's like this tiny place here, which is it the shortest route to get to the point? No, it's not the longest either, but it's just weird where the chokes are situated. I mean, you can go here on the right-hand side and spend the longest amount of time and get some high ground advantage, but you can't really use it for anything because everything is blocked off because of this fucking house here. I think if you remove this house, this whole thing, and made it open, then it would be more interesting to take the high ground advantage here, and it would matter more because you would see everything and you could shoot over. And this just like what, this house, okay, what purpose does it serve? Are we supposed to take cover in it? Because you can't really see anything once you're in here. There's like no windows or anything. It's just weird, and this is the maps that are in for testing. I used to be indifferent about this map, but now I don't like it because you know, I see like the design choices are a bit weird. So now let's go into a map that this is not an official map. This is a custom-made map. Valve has not done this, but let's look at Dust Bowl. Oh yes, let's look at Dust Bowl and see how this is not a good map from what we've just seen. Oh, we have some more Sprite. Okay, so 3 chokes, good. Less than that, bad. Okay. So here we have 1. We got a choke. Wait, like, what are you talking about? There's like 3 doors. There's like a door here, and there's a door here, and there's a door here. That's 3. That's fine. No, because one guy standing here will see everything. He will, like, if you just stand in this corner right here, you will see where everybody is coming from at one point in time. There is like no separation of the chokes or the entrances to go through. And it's like, yeah, how many places can you attack this door? 1, 2, 3, but they're so close it doesn't matter. You can't actually go through here. So there's actually 2, which is a bad number. You know? And already, you know, you're attacking and like, yeah, low ground, high ground. Like if you just stand here, you have more advantage than people that's in the spawn, and that's safe because this door will open, and I swear to God, Demo Man will stay here and just shoot bombs down in your spawn where you start. Which is horrible design. I mean, when you come, like if you look at Badlands, you start on the high ground. When you start, you have some advantage because if you go out that door on Badlands and people are capping the point, you are above them. You have an advantage. Like, of course you're defending, you know, when you're attacking and stuff. Here you are attacking too. But this is the spawn! I mean, yes, the spawn in Badlands is also on the high ground, but it's also really far away. You know, because, you know, you're attacking. So this isn't fair. And, yeah. Oh, how is this fair? Yes, when I come out this door, I see exactly what's here. However, if there's someone up here, I won't see them, but they will see me because they're on the high ground and shit like that. Okay. Whew. That was the first point. Trust me, it gets worse if you haven't played this map. And this is like what I mean by favoring things. Like, okay, Scout is a class that likes to go on separate paths that leads to flanking, kind of like maze. You know, the more maze ways you have, the better Scout would be. Because if you had a map that were a fucking maze, Scout would have been the best class, and Heavy would have been the worst. You know. But here it's like, okay, as a Scout, I can either run anywhere here and get shot regardless of which path I'm running. So Scout, sorry to say it, Scout, but you're fucking useless on this map just because of the way it's designed. And Demo Man, on Red, you're a bit too strong on this map. Yes. Okay. 3 path. Okay, let's take a look here at the second point on the first stage, because this map has 6 control points and that fucking long as a year. This map is way too long. Okay, so you're defending, and you're on the low ground if you're defending here. Let's say you're just, like, this is the far back defense. You can have a forward defense, but usually you get pushed back, and it all comes down to how long you can stand here. And if you put a sentry here, it will shoot anyone that runs on the point, regardless of what choke they're coming from. You could like say that like, well, a sentry, if you place a sentry on the middle in Badlands on the last point, it can shoot everything. Yes, but the sentry is also fucking in the open. This thing is hugged into a wall. You've cut off 180 degrees where shit can happen to it. You've reduced the damage potential of giving to the sentry by half. So yes, okay, let's count the chokes that you can come from on this point. 1, 2. Good, 2. 2 entrances to this point. And they're pretty damn close, it doesn't matter, so I guess it's 1. Like this area, 1. It doesn't really count. Look at this. But hey, it's like, well, GPS, you're not really helping, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but here's the thing. If you make like a door here, like a, yeah, like an opening or a hallway or something that goes around here and connects here, suddenly this area becomes relevant because this area is fucking useless. He's easily campable by sticky bombs by Demo Man that's standing here and can't get shot by anything. And it's easy for a sniper like me to just stand here in like 2 years ago and be like, yeah, this is the best map ever, standing here on the sniper spot shooting people as soon as they come at the door. No. Okay. So Dust Bowl definitely could use them. Like, it's an old map. It's taken from another game, so it doesn't really flow that well. That's why it's, like, so spam-friendly, because Team Fortress Classic was very, very, very spammy game. Okay, let's take a look at, here. Let's take a look at, the choke, if there are any. Okay, how many doors? 1, 2? Well, those are the same. If you look here, there's no difference. It's just 2 doors. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Here we are. Confusion. Yes. 2 chokes. Really wide and open. You start on the low ground in a fucking ditch. I mean, this is where you start. If a Demo Man shoots a bomb, it doesn't go, oh yeah, excuse me, I'm just falling up here. No, it fucking stops here. Right in the fucking bottom. It would have been a lot better if you started uphill and you went down and then it was flat. Because then the bombs, at least, you would see the bombs better. I mean, you do it, but you go up and down, but you know. Don't make it downhill, like make it uphill here. So it's harder for the Dome, and that would be a bit more fair. This is really fucking unfair, especially if you're like here. On a fucking route, like you're on the high ground on the high ground. You're like fucking high groundception. Yeah, let's stay on the high ground while we're staying on the high ground. So yeah, not really fair for the attackers. Very much favors the defenders. That's why you see like usually defenders are, like attackers, are unable to get even the first point. And then here, okay, how many entrances? One that is really fucking wide, and two that takes you to the high ground advantage. Now, which area takes the longest to walk? Well, this one. This one on the left. Does it give you an advantage? No, but it doesn't give you a disadvantage. But anyway, you have to deal with people that's inside the house, so it kind of equalizes out. Because there's like no distance. Like as opposed to Badlands, they're usually holding back. Here, they're holding forward. Which, yeah. So this also heavily favors that because it's really, really hard to get up here. Because it's easily spammable by stickies too. And stuff like that. And it just... Like, as a scout, how the fuck are you supposed to sneak around? You can't. It's impossible. They will always see you. Because there's just two chokes. I mean, you can... Oh, yeah, but you can go in here. Yeah. Like, this area serves no purpose. And then you could go up here. But there's always a sentry here, so you wouldn't be able to as a scout anyway. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is fair. How many maps have you seen this? Yeah, let's stand on top of the fucking door they come out of. Because, you know, when you run out of here, the first thing you think is like, is someone above me? That's not what you think. You're like, yeah, gotta go fast. And then you get shot by sentries and stuff like that. And, let's see, what options do you have as you come through here? How many chokes is there? Entrances rather. 1, 2, 3. This big one, 3. Okay. This one, high ground advantages. Finally, the blues get some advantage doing something. So that means they can come out here and stand up and shoot, but this arrow is really, really narrow and easily spammable, so doesn't really flow that well. And, yeah. It's pretty badly designed. So yes, so we're gonna be moving on. You can see like going the longer path gives you an advantage, but not really because it's easily countered, and it's just one way. And this, you know, come on the outside, and there's actually boxes here preventing you from like seeing everything. Well, you can take cover behind this, but they will see you through this little area, so he kind of falls flat on his ass. All right, so here is the worst part. Worst part about Dust Bowl. We have, ladies and gentlemen, we have a choke. As an attacker, you have one option to go. We have one option. And that is to go through this choke. This one choke. One. I said 3. Anything less than 3 is bad. This is really bad. But that's not the worst. That's not the worst. Like, you have, from this point on, a choke throughout the entirety of this area. And then you can go here, and there's still one choke. And you go over here, and you finally get that. But you're on the same advantage as the others. You don't have high ground advantage. You have the same low ground advantage if they're standing on top of these, you know. You pretty much don't have high ground advantage any point in time unless you push up here. But you can't sustain this high ground advantage because it fucking stops here. If it was a ledge all the way, it would have been something different, but it's not. And this window is dumb. And people go, hey, you're forgetting something. That's right. Valve has been so generously giving us this choke. This place we can go, this little pathway, this little hallway. And we're gonna go down. And this is gonna take a while. First of all, we go down spiraling, it takes longer. And we'll go, hey, where's this? And it's like, oh, great! Oh, I love the chances I have of winning going this alternative way. I can see how every class can benefit from getting up here with a rocket jump and sticky jumps and sentry jumps. Wow, those 3 classes can really make a difference going through this door. No, they can't. And you're like, well, this is a separate choke. No, you're in a fucking ditch. And the only way to get up is to go on to the original choke. So you are back where you started. And that's why Dust Bowl is so fucking unfair for attackers. You can either go through where you have constant, not high ground advantage, or you can go where you have low ground advantage. by a fucking landslide. Ugh. So with that, we're gonna go on to the last one, the last map that we're gonna look at. And it's gonna be Haunt, a map we played, and it's fairly bad. And it's gonna be the last map before I have to go. My teammates are yelling at me, telling me to get to the scrim. But hey, you guys doing the show is more important. So I will finish this as soon as it loads. It's establishing connection to the server. It is my server. And it's taking its sweet time. Good. This would be a good time to hope it doesn't crash, because that would be dumb. Oh, here it is. It's loading. So we're going to examine the last map. Of course, Dust Bowl is a really bad map. That's official. Badlands is by far the best. So we're just going to look at this map pretty quickly. It's a capture the flag map. Oh yes, you're going to capture this intel in here, not in your own base, which is an improvement. But let's take a look at chokes and entrances. You got 1, 2, 3 points of attacking. And if you attack this way, the way that is the shortest way, actually, because you can just go, yeah, I don't want to go outside. It's not risky at all. You can just go up here, bump, 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 over here, bump, 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 bump. Yes, we are attacking. However, we have an advantage of those on the low ground, but however, thanks to these planks and this door here, it's defended just as easily. And you're like, oh, well, I guess this was the bad route to take. I guess we will take the longer routes that take longer time and get into a good position because you spent longer time doing it. Similar to on Badlands. Okay, so we're just going to go, okay, we're on the low ground. Okay, low ground, low ground, low ground. We don't have high ground advantage. That's the enemy spawn. And we go in here and we have no advantage whatsoever because the enemy are still defending up top. And we can't really do anything about that, really. There might be sentries here shooting us. Okay, so we spent a lot of time doing this, and we gained a disadvantage from doing so. Spending longer time to get in position actually punished you on this map. Okay, let's see the other side. Let's see the other side. The exactly same fucking thing, only slightly not as long. Okay, good. So, on this map, taking the longer path punishes you. Taking the fastest path gives you the most advantage, which is completely against, you know, what it's supposed to be. And this area here, what purpose does this serve? This box. There's nothing here. It doesn't serve any purpose. And that's like the 3 main reasons why this map is bad. And also butts.